Tonight we're going to talk about something that we don't ever really touch on and talk about in our stuff.
Not really, not in any of our videos.
Not in our videos for sure. We briefly have mentioned it in these Bible studies, Bible conversations now.
Yeah.
This video's already flagged for saying the word Bible probably already by the algorithms. But we're going to talk about something that, it's us sharing a side of ourselves here that, a lot of people don't know about us. Even a lot of you watching right now probably don't know.
Yeah, unless you cut the little. We've mentioned it.
Yeah, we mentioned we're
but
family.
If you just watch our videos, we don't ever talk about this.
Yeah, because Daryl, Gate Bart, Granny, that whole world is so far removed from our reality, in the sense of how that dynamic works.
Yeah, we have to really get into the method acting.
Yeah.
When we get out here, I put the Gate Bart hat on, and it's just off to the races.
Granny grabs her hot shot, and it's just. But
she's really not that mean, guys.
She's not. She's a sweetheart.
Yes.
Usually, except for today. She did threaten me today. At one time, she said, "I about whacked you upside the head." I said, "What did I deserve that for?"
You probably deserved it.
She said, "Because." And I'm like,
she probably had the hot shot too.
She did have it. Oh man, but tonight we're gonna talk to y'all about fatherhood and what it means to be a father, and we can attest to that because Jarrett and I are both dads now.
Newer dads,
yeah.
We're still learning the ropes.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot to learn.
And we've been around a lot of dads our whole life, whether it's our own fathers or our friends' fathers or grandpas or great grandpas. Yeah. We've been around a lot of father figures.
I would say that we've both probably had some great father figures.
I'd say we had some excellent father figures, and we're very blessed with the figures we've had. And I mean, a lot of people aren't that lucky, and it is just what it is. But we were fortunate. God blessed us with that. But what's really great about, I think, the best thing I already feel like I've ever done in my life, and that I feel like I probably will ever do, is be a dad.
It really is, dude. It changes, It's not like I feel like, I'm old now, but it's like you got a human to take care of. You got what's that in Rugrats? You ever remember Angela? She said, "I got responsibilities now."
Responsibilities now.
You got responsibilities now.
I got responsibilities now.
You thought you had them before, but then you have a little human to take care of, and it's like everything about them. Mm-hmm. They look at you, and it's not a sense of like, "Hey, can you help me?" It's like I literally rely on you for my life, and it's like when you have that feeling, I think I ultimately felt that in the hospital when she was born. Yeah, it's just like, wow, like that.
This is a piece of me.
This is a piece of me, and it's amazing, and it's life changing in the best way possible. And that's why every time we have friends who say they're gonna be pregnant now, or had just had a kid, it's like I'm like, congratulations! Mm-hmm. It literally is the best thing ever. We're both early into the phases of it, but I'm loving the dad life.
It's a very good life. You get to come home. And when they see you, he's talking. He goes, "Dad, dad, dad." Everything's dad. Even Ma is dad. She says, "I'm Mom." He says, "Dad, dad, dad."
That's how my little girl is too. She's like, last night was the best. I hadn't seen her all day. Mm-hmm. I come in after we've been filming, and just was, "Dad, dad." I'm just like, man, you want to talk about melt your heart? There's no better feeling, honestly, than you walk in the door after a long day. Like I have a 3-hour commute throughout the day, and my commute, and it's just like. I get home and that's the thing. It's like your heart melts and it's the greatest. It's really Benny Johnson said it one day. His wife just had a kid recently and he was like, there's literally no better thing in the earth, better feeling. And he goes, and sorry for all you people who are like anti that, but you just don't know until you have one. And then you understand the feeling. So for us, we just want to share tonight that experience we've gone through this past year. And hopefully, a lot of you are probably dads or moms out there that watch our stuff here, or younger kids who want to be a dad in the future. This is something we want to talk about. Is like the great reward you have in your heart, but I think it's a reward for your soul.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something I think that everybody should strive for at some point. Not everybody is going to be able to have kids. That happens. Yeah. But I believe that God made most people to be moms and dads. Yeah. In some way, even if it's like somebody who's not your kid. You can still be a parent. You can be a father or mother figure to somebody.
Think about coaches you've had in your life. They're like father figures, that's why I was saying we've had a lot of good examples. I remember my high school football coach. It was the same way. Like I was like, no matter what, like I got things from him that I didn't get from my dad, or I got from my grandpa or my uncle, but I got from him, and I'm like, those are great life lessons, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll never forget. If it isn't worth working for, it isn't worth having. That was like the famous line, and it's like I carried that with me my whole life.
You know, I like what you said there. Like, you got something from him that you didn't get from your dad. It's not like your dad wasn't enough or something, but it's like to take little pieces from everybody that you know. You know, from the different father figures, the different mother figures, but we're talking about father figures. But the different father figures, they all have something that you can learn from them, either good or bad. Some father figures you see, you're like, I'm not doing what he did.
Yeah,
you know, that it happens. But for the most part,
like Red Foreman.
Yeah. I won't quote him. Not on this. Anyways.
Yeah, don't be calling him a DA all the time.
I hope I don't turn into Red Foreman, especially up top.
Yeah. You still got the hair.
Yeah. For now, we'll see. We'll see what the kids do about that. My dad always said that once me and my sister showed up, he started losing his. So I've still got mine though.
Yeah, looking good. We'll throw a little fertilizer on top there.
Photoshop some extra hair in there for me, Connor.
Well, you were saying though, it's great to take things from other dads. You know,
you see something that somebody else does, and you're like, "Oh, I like that." You know, I see what they did, and I would like to use that when I become a father.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to kind of build yourself up and have like all these things in your. I'm gonna use a big word here. Your repertoire.
Reservoir.
Repertoire.
Oh, repertoire, like repertoire.
Repertoire, whatever.
I think it's repertoire. I don't think reservoir. I think you're saying reservoir.
Okay, you know where I hear this
your
word?
Repertoire.
Baseball.
Repertoire.
Yeah, pitcher's got all these pitches in his
repertoire. Yeah, but not reservoir.
Reservoir.
I was like, he made this word very French.
Reservoir. Reservoir. You should know, Didier.
I know, Didier. You know.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
I like how this dad did this or this guy did this, and like you were saying, your coach said something.
Yeah.
And you take those different lessons that you get from all these different father figures, and you use those to help build you up to become the best father that you can possibly be.
Yeah. And you even from friends, like I have a good buddy who's already he's the dad of 5 kids, and I watch him with his kids and how he's grown, and it's like I kind of saw examples like, oh, that's like how he interacts with his kids. I'm like, that's really great, and it allowed me to like I can take from that, you know, and see that example, and it's someone our age, so it's more relatable. But it's really cool. Honestly, it's probably the most gratifying thing, rewarding thing you can do. So far, I know a lot of people, I'll wait till they're teenagers, but I can already tell you right now, because I feel like, and I've seen when we see memes and all this stuff that talk about this, is like, you know, people talk about this is like the goal in life, but then until you experience this, it's like 2 side images, or like they talk about like what they want traditional, you know, men to be now versus like what the best like tradition is, like, oh, you're free now, your soul's free because you're doing what like is innate in our nature, and it's so innate in us to be fathers, to raise children. Like God literally put us on this earth to reproduce. It's our number one.
Yeah, be fruitful and multiply.
It literally says in the Bible that is what our mission is here.
Yeah.
And so, and Tucker Carlson talks about it. I love when he's like, he says like, get married young, have lots of kids, like you'll mess
have
up.
Have more kids than you can afford.
Yes, he's like, that's the real thing. And right now, a lot of people like the world's anti that, and we always preach like being a rebel, God, family, country, like that is what we stand for. And right now, we're trying to say like being a family man is the most gratifying thing. So be a rebel, because the world's telling us not to do that anymore.
Exactly. You know, that's what. I like what you said right there. Like Tucker said, to do something crazy. Get married, have kids.
That's wild.
Be a rebel. You know, get married, have kids, go to church, do crazy stuff. You know, stuff that
go to bed by 9:30.
Wow. Wake up, work out, eat well.
Yeah. Wow, but then you realize like it's so much more freeing than the lifestyle of that other way. Like when you really get into it.
Oh, definitely.
Like I do not miss that whole staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Playing video games and drinking with your buddies. I did that for a while.
Or like being out, like spending a bunch of money, you know, on restaurants and a bar. It's like that stuff ultimately is not why we're here.
Yeah, where are we going partying this weekend?
It's not. It's so, when you really get out so far removed from it, you really... You realize how empty you used to be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, I would say, like what you said there, I would say my cup's overflowing.
Yeah, overflowing. Yeah. With joy and happiness.
It's great.
it is great. And for all this stuff that people like, there is the hard days. There's the days like we're not gonna sit here and like over glamorify it. Like it's
you know
hard.
how many poopy diapers I've had to change in the past year and a half?
And they're not just poopy. They are stanky.
They're bad.
Yeah, and that's what you think. Sometimes you think your own, brand is bad. Wait till you smell it. You think that cattle manure is bad that we smell all the time in the pasture?
That smells like money.
Yeah,
that smells like.
That's what Granny says. That's the smell of money.
Yeah.
But like honestly, is I'll take those any day of the week over anything else. And I mean, you guys can probably tell how exciting we are talking about this. Is because we are doing the Lord's work by being dads.
It's the greatest joy of my life.
Amen.
Honestly.
It is
being a father, being a husband, and starting my family and growing them and trying to become the person that I feel like God made me to be.
Yeah, the man, when he was crafting you and making you, like the man, that vision, like we're always aspiring to it. And then the thing, when like I was saying, that emptiness that we felt at one point in our lives, because that's the part of like fatherhood he built inside of us. And that's in our nature. It is so innate in who we are. And in this world now today, kind of tells people like, wait till you're 35, wait till you're 40.
You gotta have enough money in your savings account before you think about having a kid.
Yeah, well, guess what?
You'll figure it out.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, you can wait all you want, but if you're just gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Ultimately, just like you'll figure it out. So it's just what are you willing to do to figure that out?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've gotten really into this song, but I know we found a verse this week that talks about the father.
Yeah.
And being
the
a father.
Yeah. Now this is from 1 John. It says, "See how very much our Father loves us." That Father up there. "For he calls us his children, and that is what we are. But the people who belong to this world don't recognize that we are God's children because they don't know him."
So let's give the people some context here, some backlink here. So this is out of John.
Yeah. It's
Apostle John.
John, he wrote this after Jesus' death.
Mm-hmm.
And it says he wrote it to, I saw it a minute ago.
He wrote it too?
He wrote it at a time when Gnosticism tried to derail the church.
Gotcha.
Do you know what Gnosticism is? That's a
like
big word.
The people who, like agnostically, right?
Yeah,
like there's
the
world is nothing, like there's nothing going on. Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. They agnostic and then Gnosticism is the same thing.
The same thing.
Yeah, and that really happened. It was the Roman Empire. Like if you look at the history of things like that, they were all going through these experiences, and it is true. Like that time, like the world was empty. It's kind of like how when you look at the world today, it's like where is God?
What's happening? Where's everything going? And then Jesus had died, so a lot of people felt empty because they're like, oh, God's gone. But then people like John were out there writing books in the Bible and reassuring people that God does love you and he's there for you and he is the Father of all of us.
And that is true. Like at the end of the day, like that is our heavenly Father. Like here on earth, and that's what's kind of the beauty of becoming a dad too. You realize like I have this child, but like that's a whole nother soul and spirit, and that soul and spirit's not mine.
Yeah.
That's his. I'm just here on his earthly, the earthly terms to protect and provide and give to this thing. But that's also part of my wing, my armor and shield that God said, okay, you're in charge of that and take care of it, just like he did Joseph for Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like that's the same thing. Is like we're here to protect this soul and spirit and help guide them so they can one day get to their mission, which is ultimately getting to heaven. But we're just here to help that soul get there too. It's like we're at the end of the day when we get to heaven, because we're all God's children too. Like we're actually brothers. Like me and you, I always say we're brothers in Christ because we really are. But we feel like brothers in real life.
Yeah.
But it's like Connor, same way. A lot of our friends, it's like we're all actually brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
really.
To God, he looks at us that way.
Yeah,
we're just all brothers and sisters. We're all his children.
And that's why when people. There's one this kind of goes a little off tangent, but it's all connected. Is like when people say, "Oh, those are the holy people," or "Those are," and that, like, you know what I mean? I kind of like, well, we're all God's children. Why is there just a certain chosen people? Because now Jesus came to tell us that there is no just chosen person, that we're all God's children. So
you just have to accept it.
That's what it ultimately comes down to: accepting that God is real. Jesus was his son. He sent here to die for our sins.
And you're going to stumble along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was telling you, the deal, it's like, okay, so my son, he's starting to walk, but he falls down a lot, and as his father, I'm watching him, and I remember the first time he took a step. Oh, I lit up. It was so gratifying to see him just take one step, two steps, and then down he is.
Yeah.
And he tries to get back up, and he stumbles, and now he's doing a lot better. He's starting to walk a little bit more. But God looks at us the same way, too.
Yeah.
We're going to fall down. But every time that we take a step, he looks down on us. And he's gratified with what we do. Mm-hmm. And it's the same way as me looking at my son. God looks at us as his children and hopes that we just keep getting back up.
Yeah.
And walk towards him.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I love that. You told me that the other day. I'm like, that's just good. It's true. And when you become a dad, it's so much more understanding too. Cause
you really feel that.
Yeah,
you see that. You're like, man, I kind of get it. Yeah.
I get it. And I understand what my parents, why they were like how they were growing up and all this. You figured that out. You understand. But you also realize that's why God is how he is. That unconditional love he has for us. I now feel that towards another human in a way I never experienced before.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, I relate to God. And that's why we wanted to bring up being a father tonight, is that being a dad really makes you super more connected, probably in the best way possible, as from manhood, fatherhood, even the sisters out there, moms, and motherhood. That's when you feel truly most connected, I think, is through parenthood.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing that's brought me more joy than being a dad. I feel like this is what I was meant to do, like I was meant to be his father.
Yeah. Yeah, you were. And Jared's a great dad. He is. He's the man.
I try to be.
He's ultimate. Like when you're at the birthday party, you're coding in like we've changed the wardrobe 3 times already. We've only been here 45 minutes.
He was covered in cake icing. We gave him his cake and he just went all in there. I was like, okay.
But you were just back there trooping and came in with a diaper bag, and somebody said to me, like, man, it's so cool to see Jared. Like, it's funny to see him as that because like growing up, you knew.
I've heard several people tell me, I just still can't believe you have a kid. He's like having a little mini me. I love it.
But it is great, and we love it, and we're very fortunate. But we just wanted to share that part of our lives that we don't get to really share with y'all a lot, and then you guys maybe understand why we make the things we do from our content.
Yeah,
like
a lot of it is because we want a better future for our children.
Yeah,
and there's things in society that we want to rebel against.
Yeah, because
we speak all the time.
Because the norm now isn't necessarily the real normal, but since it's the norm now, we got to rebel against it and make traditional way of life be the normal way of life again.
Yeah, and do what we can for the next generation that's coming up. Not just our kids, but as fathers, we especially worry about the future that we're leaving for our children.
Yep. And if you're not worried about that, then what are you worried about? Because you're not. What's important?
Probably worried about yourself.
Yeah, and that's to say, it's the most selfless act you can do is be a parent.
Yeah, definitely.
A good parent.
Yeah, a good parent.
Yeah, so let me reemphasize, a good parent. Yeah. Well, I think that was great. We just want to tell you all that tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the message that we had here tonight about fatherhood, being a dad, and then being
God the Father.
And then God the Father. And as you can tell, it's been fun to talk about for us, but there's like this whole different energy.
Like every time we get together, we have we got to tell our dad stories.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't believe what happened. Oh my gosh, I got to show you a picture. That's every day.
Yeah, like I show you all go. Yes. Oh, she went to the zoo today.
Oh, look at my little farm boy. Just
little
always
mini gate Bart.
Yeah, mini gate Bart.
Mini Bart.
Even had the hat on.
He did. Well, I think that's a great place to end it.
I think so. All right. Well, you guys have a great week.
And God bless y'all.